It's Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. Welcome to your daily news update on Blip Brief. Small, but almost everything updated every weekday. Okay, kicking off our deep dive today, let's look at the Indian markets. Yesterday felt a bit cautious, wouldn't you say? Things dipped slightly.
Yeah, just slightly. The main indices, the BSE, Sensex, and Nifty 50 were down maybe 0.1%, 0.2%, really quite modest.
It felt like everyone was just sort of holding their breath.
Well, that's pretty much it. It wasn't random. It was mostly anticipation, waiting for the U.S. Federal Reserve's a big meeting this week.
Ah, the Fed again, always casting a long shadow, right?
Absolutely. Investors are really tuned in. They know any hints about interest rates from Washington, well, they ripple out, especially to emerging markets like ours.
Right. Global capital pays attention when the Fed talks, so a bit of a wait-and-see approach.
Exactly. Cautious positioning.
But even with that slight dip overall, some areas were actually quite strong. Really green patches, realty indices, for example.
Oh, yeah, Realty stood out. BSE Realty, Nifty Realty both surged. We're talking like 2.5%, 2.4% gains.
Wow. And the Nifty Small Cap 100 also climbed, around 0.8%?
That's right. Strong showing there, too.
So what's fueling real estate? Why the confidence there when the broader market is, hesitant?
That's a good question. It's not just general optimism. Analysts are actually quite bullish on specific factors.
Like what?
Well, you've got pretty robust housing demand, especially seeing growth in Tier 2 cities. Plus, there's a solid pipeline of government infrastructure projects that always helps land values.
Okay.
And maybe a perception, too, that real estate can be a decent hedge against inflation. So it feels like a more fundamental confidence is returning.
Interesting. Not just real estate, though. Railway stocks, too.
Yes, railway stocks chugged ahead nicely. That seems directly linked to significant government spending pushes, the capital expenditure focus. And they've had some good order wins recently.
Right, that direct government stimulus effect.
Exactly.
Looking at individual companies, Geo Financial led the gainers, up about 1.3%. Bajaj Finance, Ultratech Cement also saw some positive movement.
Yep, some bright spots there.
But not everywhere. Asian Paints and Mahindra took decent hits, both down around 1.7%. Infosys dropped over 1% too.
True. It highlights those sector-specific pressures, or maybe just profit-taking in some cases.
And what about the bigger picture? Fund flows.
Ah, yes. Equity mutual funds actually put quite a bit of cash to work in August. We're talking around RS8, 8,900 crore deployed.
That's substantial. So managers weren't just sitting on the sidelines.
Not at all. They were actively reshuffling. We saw increased interest, particularly in auto, financial, and IT counters.
Any specific names standing out?
Well, there was noticeable activity, shifts in holdings in companies like Maruti Suzuki and ICICI Bank, for instance.
So active rebalancing, a belief that certain sectors are maybe undervalued or set for growth, even with the caution.
Precisely. It looks like a tactical recalibration, as you put it earlier. Smart money-making, calculated bets.
Okay, let's shift gears now. Broaden out to the Indian economy itself. Some encouraging signs on the jobs front.
Yes, definitely. India's unemployment rate hit a 4-month low in August, just over 5.1%.
That's positive. And women's workforce participation, I saw that was up too.
It was indeed, rose to 32%. That's really significant, not just economically, but socially too. Shows growing opportunity and maybe some deeper shifts.
Good to see. Labor market resilience then, but inflation.
Yeah.
Made a bit of a comeback.
Slight sting in the tail there. Wholesale inflation actually turned positive in August, rose to a 4-month high of 0.5%.
Why the turnaround?
Primarily climbing manufacturing costs. Also, the rate of deflation in food prices slowed down, so food prices were still falling, just not as fast. It all added up.
Something the RBI will be watching closely, no doubt.
Absolutely. It's always a balancing act.
How about trade? Exports looked pretty healthy in August.
They did. Goods exports saw a nice rise, about 6.7%. Electronics and engineering goods seem to be driving that.
And imports?
Imports actually shrank, down by around 10.1%.
So that helped the trade deficit.
Significantly narrowed it quite a bit.
What's the deeper story there? Is this a structural shift, maybe more domestic production, or just slower demand for imports?
That's the key question, isn't it? The export strength, especially in areas like electronics, suggests maybe India is getting more competitive. The import dip, well, could be stronger domestic production, or it could reflect somewhat subdued domestic demand. Needs watching.
And on the diplomatic front, trade talks are back on.
Yes, India and the U.S. are resuming talks today, trying to bridge some gaps, especially after those U.S. tariffs linked to Russian oil purchases.
Right, and talks with the EU, too.
Also being fast-tracked, It's all about securing market access, diversifying trade partners, really crucial long-term strategy.
A lot happening on the global stage. Okay, bringing it back home to the consumer. Car sales slumped again, fourth month running.
Yeah, passenger vehicles down about 9% in August.
But this isn't necessarily a bad economic sign, is it? It's more tactical.
Exactly. That's the fascinating part. The why here is mostly anticipation.
Ah, the GST recuts.
Precisely. They're expected around September 22nd. So many consumers and even retailers are just holding back, waiting to see the full impact.
Even with the pre-GST discounts automakers are offering now.
Seems many are willing to wait for potentially better deals post-cut. It's a strategic pause, really. Shows how policy changes can directly influence buying behavior, creating these temporary market wiggles.
Very savvy consumers. Okay, let's talk infrastructure. Some huge projects moving forward.
Definitely. Big momentum there. Mega Engineering secured that massive project, India's first private sector strategic petroleum reserve. Billions of rupees. Huge for energy security.
Monumental, yeah. And Adani Enterprises, investing in Kedarnath.
Right. A new ropeway, aiming to cut travel time from, 9 hours down to just 36 minutes.
Incredible. That's transformative.
Absolutely. Boosts tourism, regional development. And Larsen and Toubro also bagged a large order for the bullet train project's track work.
So these aren't just construction jobs, they're economic multipliers, right?
Totally. They create jobs across many sectors, boost demand, improve the country's overall productive capacity. It's that big government capex push really bearing fruit.
And this buzz extends to the IPO market, too. Still going strong.
Very much so. Urban Company's IPO is oversubscribed, 103 times? Dev Accelerator, 63 times. Shows a real appetite.
Wow. And more in the pipeline.
Yep. Canara, HSBC Life, Pine Labs, they've got the nod from SEBI. The pipeline looks healthy.
And speaking of SEBI, there are new rules about minimum IPO sizes for large firms.
Yes, that's quite significant. They've reduced the minimum size requirement.
What does that mean, practically, for investors, for companies?
Well, it basically makes it easier, more flexible for really big companies, maybe those with high valuations already, to go public. Could potentially benefit future listings like, say, Geo platforms.
Interesting. So potentially more high-profile listings coming, better market access?
That seems to be the goal. Enhance market depth, liquidity. It fits with this broader theme we're hearing from the government, too.
The innovation focus.
Exactly. That NTI IAG report suggesting AI adoption could add, hundreds of billions to GDP by 2035. And ministers emphasizing innovation over heavy regulation in tech. This IPO rule feels like part of that picture.
A clear policy direction. But, of course, policy can cut both ways. The real money gaming sector, hit hard by the ban.
Oh, absolutely. A stark example. Nearly 2,000 job losses reported. Shows how quickly regulatory changes can impact specific industries.
A tough situation there. And another interesting shift. Lower income borrowers turning to gold loans.
Yeah, that's a fascinating trend. Gold loans have surged up something like 122%.
Why the huge jump? Why gold over microfinance now?
It seems to be a combination of things. Rising gold prices make the gold people already own more valuable as collateral. At the same time, microfinance lending rules have apparently gotten stricter, making the smaller loans harder to get.
So people are pragmatically using the assets they have in a tighter credit environment?
That's exactly how it looks, leveraging what they've got.
Really interesting glimpse into household finances. Okay, let's zoom out globally. Wall Street seemed optimistic.
Yes, ended higher over there. S&P 500, NASDAQ hitting record highs. Also looking ahead to that Fed decision, but maybe with more optimism.
And some big corporate news. Google's parent Alphabet.
Join the $3 trillion market cap club. An exclusive group for sure.
Wow. And Tesla. Big jump there, too.
Over 8% jump. That came after news that CEO Elon Musk bought nearly $1 billion worth of Tesla stock himself.
That's a statement of confidence, all right.
You could say that.
Yeah.
But while the market's up, the Federal Reserve itself is facing some scrutiny.
Oh. What's happening there?
The Senate confirmed Stephen Miran to the Fed board. He's a former Trump economic advisor.
Raising concerns about political influence.
Exactly. Especially given his recent White House role. It comes just as an appeals court actually rejected a separate attempt by Trump to remove another Fed governor, Lisa Cook. So lots of focus on the Fed's independence right now.
Especially with a rate cut widely expected this week. Perceived political influence could muddy the waters, couldn't it?
It certainly could complicate how markets react. Independence is key for the Fed's credibility.
Definitely. And geopolitical tensions aren't easing up either. China and the U.S.
Yeah. China accused the U.S. of unilateral bullying over pushing allies on tariffs related to China's Russian oil purchases. So tensions remain high there.
Even with President Trump hinting at a TikTok deal and planning a call with President Xi.
It's a complex mix, isn't it? Economic pressure, tech rivalry, high-level diplomacy, all happening at once. And elsewhere,
Oh, sure.
a very stern warning from Moscow. Talk of World War III if NATO tries to enforce a no-fly zone over Ukraine. Really raises the stakes.
Just a reminder of how fragile things are.
Absolutely. These tensions ripple through energy markets, supply chains, investor sentiment everywhere.
Sure.
And it affects companies, too. Look at BYD, the Chinese EV giant.
Facing pressure.
Big time. A massive stock sell-off, wiping out tens of billions in value. They're caught in a really intense price war in their home market. Fierce competition.
Shows even the giants aren't immune. Okay, wow, quite the global picture. But let's end on something, maybe a bit more visionary. A tech breakthrough.
Yes, let's. This one is quite something. Scientists have developed daily eye drops that could potentially make reading glasses obsolete.
Get rid of reading glasses, really? How?
It's pretty ingenious, actually. The drops combine two key ingredients, pilocarpine and diclofenac.
Okay, what do they do?
Well, pilocarpine makes your pupils slightly smaller. Think of it like creating a natural pinhole camera effect. That increases your depth of focus, making it easier to see things up close.
Clever. And the diclofenac.
That's an anti-inflammatory.
Wave.
It's thought to help manage any potential side effects and just make the effect work better, potentially for longer.
And it works. Trials showed results.
Apparently so. In the trials, patients could read extra lines on vision charts. And the effects, incredibly, seem to last up to 2 years in some cases.
2 years! That's amazing.
It really is. It offers a potential non-surgical way to treat presbyopia that's the common age-related difficulty with near vision most of us get.
So imagine, correcting your reading vision could be as simple as using an eye drop each day.
That's the promise. A potential future without constantly reaching for those reading glasses. A genuine game changer for millions of people out there.
Truly remarkable. A fantastic note to end on. And just before you go, a quick note. This deep dive commentary was put together using advanced AI. We always strive for accuracy, but please do cross-verify any crucial information yourself. Your informed decisions are what matter most.